twinkle.
Where did you dream?
Nothing rhymes with twinkle. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, cat. Words of wisdom. Drop that zero and get with the hero.
But I really didn't know what to, what to expect.
You lie about your background.
I mean, that's all old news. I didn't lie about.
But
nothing.
All I heard was like Ice Ice Baby, and I knew all these stones was being thrown at him, and I'm like, that song is whack. But why are all these stones really being thrown at
I
him?
was young, manipulated, and I was a pup.
Vanilla Ice is finally speaking out, and the real reason he disappeared is shocking. For years, people thought he left because he was just a one-hit wonder who couldn't handle the rap game. But the truth is much darker than anyone expected.
My dreams that I thought were dreams turned out to be nightmares. And I figured out the biggest value and purpose in life is that it has nothing to do with money or buying all these things.
Word is, some powerful music executives try to pull Vanilla Ice into shady, secret industry rituals, the kind people have quietly talked about for years behind the scenes in Hollywood. But instead of going along with it, he said, "No, I'm out," and walked away without looking back. He didn't just leave fame behind. He escaped some really dark stuff. And it wasn't an easy exit either. He made it out after surviving some crazy near-death experiences that almost cost him his life.
Having relationships with guys, no. Was I doing things with guys that would probably be deemed to be gay?
So now the big question is, how did Vanilla Ice avoid the same traps that supposedly took down so many other celebrities? And was he really close to being sacrificed by the dark side of the industry? Stay tuned, because we're about to break down exactly how Vanilla Ice got away from the grip of the elite, and why walking away from fame might have been the boldest move he ever made.
Of the devil. It's a spiritual war. So what happens is, in order for that artist to be in position to even mislead the people, they have to be worthy. This is hazing. This is the hazing aspect of it. In order to climb the ladder in the music industry, you have to be hazed. And when you're getting hazed, you're getting in your ass.
You say like basically
this homosexual ritual.
Back in the early 90s, Vanilla Ice was on top of the pop rap world, blowing up the charts with Ice Ice Baby. Then suddenly he disappeared. Most people thought he faded because he didn't have what it takes to stay relevant. But now, new reports suggest his sudden exit had nothing to do with talent or music trends, and everything to do with the dark side of the industry. Allegedly, the people in power weren't just offering him more fame. They were trying to pull him into some twisted secret rituals that other artists have only dared to hint at. When Vanilla Ice hit the height of his fame, the so-called gatekeepers of the industry came calling. We're talking about invitations to underground parties, the same kind now being linked to Diddy. But these weren't just Hollywood hangouts. These were elite hidden events where, according to whispers, souls get sold and shady power moves happen behind closed doors.
How does the industry situation turn you into a man? It really didn't. If anything, it tried to take man's stripes from.
But Vanilla Ice wasn't having it. He straight up said, "No thanks," and walked away. Later, he even called out the industry for its fake smiles, shady games, and cold manipulation. That's when he really started pulling back from all the glitz and lies. Now here's where things get messy. When Vanilla Ice was topping the charts, Diddy hadn't even hit the scene yet. By the time Diddy became a superstar, Ice had already stepped away from the spotlight. But let's be clear, Diddy didn't create these alleged rituals. Word is, he was trained by the same shadowy figures who once tried to pull Vanilla Ice into their world.
This is a quote that you said in one of your interviews. You said, "At one point in my life, I didn't even know who I was, what my purpose was. I didn't want to live anymore. With hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank, I didn't give a shit about life. Who I am today is a complete flip the script opposite of that, and just super grateful, man, for my family, for my kids. And that's the meaning of life, man, the true meaning of life."
100%. We can go around as a young person in this globe and see life in a different way. And then you know what happens is, I shook this whole globe up, like a snow globe. I shook it up. And you think reality is what you see in front of you, and then the snow globe kind of settles a little bit, and then you find out that none of it was real. It was all artificial. It's all just entertainment world. It's all on how people view you, even you. And you find your purpose, you find out who you are. And I didn't know who I was. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I know Justin Bieber could definitely use some advice.
Yeah.
Lost. Because with all the success, nobody that, especially with what happened to me, 10 times even bigger than Bieber, because, or anybody, because of being me and white and who I am. And at the time, it was something far more impactful, if that makes any sense, for people to hate on or take a punch at or anything, right? So it was a groundbreaking thing that really was, and probably could have killed me in many, many ways. Not just the Suge Knight way but suicidal way, to the point where all my dreams that I thought were dreams turned out to be night.
After Ice Ice Baby turned him into a global star, Vanilla Ice caught the attention of some of the most powerful figures in the music industry, including the late Charles Koppelman, who had close ties to Clive Davis, the same man connected to Diddy's rise. Behind the scenes, these industry heavyweights didn't just see Vanilla Ice as a hit maker. They saw him as someone they could control, a puppet to shape however they wanted. But Ice saw through the game early. Before they could trap him in their system, he disappeared. He ghosted the fame and walked away for good. But let's be clear, Vanilla Ice's exit wasn't smooth. Not even close.
You know, the time that Whitney died, that night when we were at, you know, my Grammy party, and it was Puffy. It really was Puffy, Diddy, all Puffy, of the, and for him to so articulately why we were there together, why the party had to go on, why the musical community had to be joined together. Very touching.
There were moments during Vanilla Ice's short but explosive career where he seriously feared for his life. Let's rewind. Vanilla Ice, real name Robert Matthew Van Winkle, was discovered in 1987 by DJ Floyd Earthquake Brown after performing at a nightclub in South Dallas called City Lights. Just 2 years later, he dropped his first major studio album, To the Extreme, and it blew up. It sold 15 million copies worldwide, faster than anything since Prince's Purple Rain. Ice Ice Baby didn't just chart. It made history as the first rap song to hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Vanilla Ice didn't just shake up rap. He helped launch into the mainstream. Hollywood noticed too. In 1991, he made his movie debut in Cool as Ice. At that point, it felt like the whole world wanted a piece of him. Even Madonna was reportedly head over heels for him. So much so that she allegedly proposed. But Ice turned her down flat. He was focused on his career and didn't want to get caught up in distractions. And here's where he stood out. While most young stars were chasing fame, parties, and celebrity hookups, Ice was moving different. He kept things low-key. In 1997, he married Laura Garita, and they had 2 daughters together. They stayed married for nearly 20 years, which is practically unheard of in Hollywood. But in 2016, things fell apart. Laura filed for divorce, accusing him of cutting her off financially and hiding money behind the scenes.
Little town is about to become cool as ice.
Drop. What the hell is that? Drop that 0 and get with the heat.
At just 23 years old, Vanilla Ice was on top of the world, briefly the biggest rapper alive. But with all that fame came a lot of backlash. Hardcore hip-hop fans started coming for him, accusing him of cultural appropriation and questioning if he was really cut out for the rap game. Then came the controversy about where he was really from. Ice claimed Miami, but Arsenio Hall wasn't having it and famously called him out on national TV for lying about his background. That moment sparked a huge backlash. Later, Vanilla Ice came clean. He said he wasn't trying to be fake. He was just young, insecure, and didn't know how to handle sudden fame. In an interview, he said, "I lived in Miami and wrote Ice Ice Baby about it. I didn't think about where I was from at the time. That only became a thing after I got famous. I was like, where I'm from? Who the hell cares where I'm from? I was embarrassed to tell people I was from Farmers Branch, Dallas. I didn't say I was from Miami. I didn't say I was from anywhere. I was just like, I'm from around the corner. Man, I'm from around the damn way.
I mean, things were going so crazy and fast, man. I was just like, what? I thought the guy was supposed to do that. What do you mean? Wait a minute. This is too fast. I'm just getting started here, and I'm way too young for this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was crazy. The more I think about it, the more crazy.
He said he kept things vague to protect his privacy, not to fake who he was. But critics didn't buy it. They came at him hard, constantly questioning his street cred and background. Still, Vanilla Ice didn't depend on hype. He was putting in real work. He was obsessed with 80s dance culture, studying moves from breaking and beat street nonstop. While the industry was calling him a poser, Ice was behind the scenes grinding, building skills that most people never even saw. By then, he was already a well-known name around Dallas. He wasn't just killing it in clubs. He was winning motocross competitions, battling at house parties, and running the scene on Forest Lane in South Dallas. But it wasn't all wins. He had a near-death experience after being stabbed 5 times. He lost 4 pints of blood and spent days in the hospital. It was serious. His come-up wasn't just flashy. It was dangerous.
I got stabbed 5 times, got my main artery right here in my leg. I almost died. You only have 8 pints of blood, I lost 4.
Damn.
And it was in my friend's seat for 3 months after. It still didn't even dry up. Like, he had the sponge seat, you know, underneath it, and it was in the seat when he took me to the hospital. My buddy Phil took me to the hospital. It was his fight. It wasn't even my fight. I didn't even know who this guy was. I was his passenger. And he's in the front yard of some dude's house. And he goes up, and the dude comes out in his trench coat, and Phil runs like turns into the biggest in the world and runs. And I'm standing there, and I'm like, what the that? The dude was coming at him, and he turns around and ran. This is my big Phil, man, the big dude. And the guy came at me. He goes, you want some of this motherfucker? I go, I don't even know who you are. I don't know what this is, bro. What's going on? The motherfucker's just standing there, and he's yuck, yuck, yuck. Next thing I know, I turn around, I choke the dude. He's just a skinny dude, a little guy. And that's why I couldn't understand why Phil ran. I didn't see the knife. He ran because he had a knife. And Phil comes back after the dude's laughing. I beat the dude. He saw me. Phil's 2 houses down in the front yard looking at me. I'm fighting this dude. Didn't even know he was stabbing me. And I'm choking him, and I choked him out. Did one of those old UFC moves. I put him on the ground, and I just choked him out. I'm punching him in the face. I beat his ass. Skinny little dude. He was easy to beat up. I let him go. He's out, and I get up, and he's still on the ground, and he's laughing at me. I'm like, why are you laughing, dude? I just beat your ass. And I go I'm exhausted. So I put my hands like this, and my hand slipped off. And I go, what the? I looked at it, and it was blood everywhere, and you got my main artery here. It was just gushing out like you see out of the movies where just an artery is the main thing. It squirts out. And he got me in my ass cheek. Stabbed me across here. Got 47 stitches on my hand.
47 stitches.
From here, see it? Right here, all the way down to here. I mean, I got scars. There's the artery right there, dog. Not to show you my untanned leg. I don't wear tight shorts and that's where the knife went in right there. And I'll spare you the details of my ass, but
yeah, we don't need to.
There's the scar there. Scar stories, man. Nothing to it.
After his performance at Club City Lights, talent scouts couldn't ignore Vanilla Ice any longer. A&Rs from major labels started handing him business cards left and right. With his smooth looks and impressive dance moves, even Public Enemy tried to bring him on board, pushing producer Hank Shockley to sign him to Def Jam. But instead of going to Def Jam, Ice signed with SBK Records in 1990. That move changed everything. Suddenly, he wasn't just making a name for himself locally. He was sharing stages with some of the biggest stars in the game.
Arsenio Hall show, at first I was a fan, you know.
What you gonna do?
And then I became definitely not a fan of the show, especially after I did the show.
In all fairness to my audience, when you talk about Vanilla Ice, I was mad at Vanilla Ice before the interview started.
Thank you.
You have been embroiled in a lot of controversy. The press has been really hard on you lately, saying that you lie about your background.
I mean, that's all old news. I didn't lie about.
But I haven't interviewed you, so it's new news for my audience. So let's get into it.
I thought he
was a little hard on me. He was venomous.
I've heard stories about me lying about where I came from and everything, and I never lied. Let me just tell you, when the record company creates all this stuff, bios around you, and, you know, they have your own publicists and everything, they create this image, okay? This image. And it's easy to hate on that image because it's a novelty act image, you know? I was kind of thrown into this new kids with snot category.
While opening for MC Hammer on his Please Hammer, Don't Hurt Him World Tour, Vanilla Ice earned respect from big names like Hammer and Tupac. Hammer himself was blown away by Ice's energy and originality. He said, "I was shocked to see a white kid who was #1 rapping and #2 dancing in a 100% black club. He didn't care. He wasn't copying anyone. He was just doing him." Even Tupac showed love. Ice later shared in interviews that Pac was cool with him, and they even hung out a few times in the early 90s. There was no beef, no ego, just mutual respect between two artists making waves in their own unique ways.
Which is called an autograph signing party in Miami. And this place only holds like, the record store is called Specs, and it only holds like 500 people. And there's 5,000 people showed up. All hanging out in the mall, hanging outside, inside, completely packed. And I had 3 security guards, plus the mall security, which was about 7 of them. So there's about 10 security guards all together. And I go, okay, come up next. Whoever wants to come next, you know, get a autograph. Whole crowd. I mean, they ripped. I had my MTV shirt on and everything, and they ripped it completely off. My censorship shirt, ripped it completely off. Broke my watch on the concrete. The security guards had to drag me out of there because the girls had hold of my pants and I couldn't walk, and I was just like getting dragged this way and pulled this way. It was incredible. It was terrible. They wrote on the limo with a marker, "We love you, Vanilla Ice," on an all-white limousine with a magic marker that doesn't, a permanent marker.
Tupac was known for calling out fake energy in hip-hop, but when it came to Vanilla Ice, he stayed silent. He never accused him of stealing from the culture or faking it. In fact, Ice claimed that Pac had his back when other rappers were throwing shade. Tupac pulled him aside, gave him some real advice, and showed support when it mattered most. That kind of respect from Pac spoke volumes. But things took a dark turn when Suge Knight entered the picture. Suge, Pac's label boss and one of the most feared men in the industry, was allegedly involved in a legendary story that still makes headlines today. The story goes that Suge dangled Vanilla Ice over a balcony. It wasn't just for show.
How did black artists treat you?
Great. That's where I'm. Listen,
like Tupac or Biggie or those guys.
Oh, good friends of mine. I was friends with Tupac way before he even blew up. When
NWA,
he was the Digital Underground. NWA. I was the opening act. Listen, I was the opening act for the opening act for the opening act for the opener for the opener when we did the Stop the Violence tour with NWA, Stetsa Sonic, EPMD, Sir Mix-a-Lot. So I was that kid out there, and they were.
The whole mess started with a songwriter named Mario Chocolate Johnson, who claimed he co-wrote several tracks for Vanilla Ice, including the massive hit Ice Ice Baby. At the time, Johnson was managed by none other than Suge Knight. One chick found out about Johnson's involvement. He decided to pay Vanilla Ice a visit. Reports say Suge's visit had one goal: get a piece of the profits. And when we say pressured, it wasn't just a firm handshake. It got intense.
Yeah, Tupac and I are good friends.
Yes.
Good dude. Gave me some of my greatest advice because he saw me going through hell with all the hatred and all the shit, and he stood up for me and said straight up, "Ice, you're dope." He goes, "I want you to know you're one of the great ones. You're dope. You're going to leave your mark, your legacy." And this is before it happened. He knew it. This guy had a crystal. According
to the story, Suge Knight grabbed Vanilla Ice by the ankles and hung him over the edge of his hotel balcony, demanding 25% of the royalties. Years later, Ice downplayed the story a bit, saying Suge didn't exactly hold him upside down. But he made one thing clear: what happened on that balcony was no joke.
That's not what he says at all.
I had my bodyguards who had guns, and they had their people which had guns, and they had us outpowered and outnumbered.
Talking publicly about it for the first time, Van Winkle describes a terrifying night in his suite at a Beverly Hills hotel when he says Suge Knight showed up with 6 other men.
roughed one of my bodyguards up. They roughed everybody else in my whole entourage.
Suge came with serious energy, and Ice knew he had no choice but to fold. Fast forward to today, and guess who's laughing now? Vanilla Ice flipped the script on everyone. While Suge Knight is sitting behind bars until at least 2034, when he'll be 69 years old, Vanilla Ice is out here stacking millions in real estate. After his wild ride through the music industry, Ice didn't just fade into obscurity. He transformed. Long before flipping houses became a trend, he was already buying up properties in Florida, renovating them, and turning his music money into a real estate empire. That side hustle blew up, and his skills in design and business eventually landed him his own home renovation show, the Vanilla Ice Project, which ran for multiple seasons on the DIY network.
The real estate, I've been doing it for over 30-something years. I've been a GC. I went to design school, got a degree 18 years ago.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's why the TV show has 180 episodes and 13 seasons. Is because we still just do it. I really do it. There's no fluff to my show, you know. I go to seminars all over the world, man. Anytime a seminar comes in, and I'll go to real estate seminars, I'll go to self-help seminars, I go to all kinds of things. I'm really clean. Like I had a weekend, like you, I think, that lasted about 3 years, way back in my early 20s, and then I've been clean since, so it's been a long time because I'm
Ice didn't sell out, and he didn't play their game. He saw the shady side of the industry and dipped before it could swallow him whole. Now, he's still getting paid and living comfortably, while some of the people who clowned him back in the day are either broke or locked up. Fans now say one of the smartest moves Vanilla Ice ever made was walking away from the music game when he did. He got out before fame could destroy him, found his own lane, kept his soul intact, and built a legacy on his own terms. But what do you think? Was walking away from the spotlight the key to Ice's long-term success? And what about those rumors? Do you believe the industry really tried to pull him into those creepy secret parties? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're reading everything. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear the truth. Hit that bell so you don't miss what's coming next. This saga was wild, but the next one is even crazier. Catch you in the next video.